So guys, I hope you enjoyed the little video with myself and Scott in the car. That may become a regular feature. Obviously talking equipment, skates was obviously the big one, as Scott has had multiple pairs of skates, probably more than I've had in the last couple of years. So it is now Friday, and it's a bit of a go slow day due to the fact that it's a tournament weekend this weekend. So my Mustangs B team are playing in the Quake tournament this weekend, and there is also the Scottish Recreational Cup on at the same time, and the Flyers and the Blackhawks will be in that also. So Pamela, what are you up to today, or what have you been up to today?
Well, we fixed the problem with the phones. We put the new SIM cards in that we were rushed from BT. So we fixed the phones. We've served all the customers. We've sorted out all the Facebook posts, and I'm just updating the Google hours for the weekend.
So the shop will be closed this Saturday due to the fact that we are down in Dumfries, and don't think for a second that I will get some time off due to the fact that I will have my portable machine there, and hopefully we'll get some footage of me doing some sharpenings in Dumfries ice rink. Now obviously the reason I'm going down there in the first place is because the Mustangs are playing and I'm coaching, so obviously hopefully the team will do well. Obviously last year when we went to the Quake tournament and the Bowl tournament, we subsequently won both, so both teams have been promoted up a level this year, so let's go Mustangs.
everyone, it's another day, another dollar. We're back in the shop today. It's Tuesday the 7th of May. We are getting a quick update. We weren't open on Saturday because Steven was at the tournament. I'm sure you'll see some footage of that soon. So today is a bit of a backtrack, check over all the orders, update all the customers, and today I've got a bit of accounts to do, and then I'm working on our new website to try and get that over the line as quickly as possible. I think Steven's got some repairs to do, and we will be doing the sharpenings as they come in.
So a quick question I've got for you. There was a couple of people commenting, whether it was in Facebook or whatever else, I can't remember, about the background noise.
Oh, that's Curve's gym upstairs. Yeah,
we have a Curve's gym up above us, and they like to play their music really loud, so if you randomly hear change station now, it's usually...
It's not us.
It's not us. We're not that
We're not that fit.
Yeah, we're not that athletic.
Saying that, a bit of a lockdown fact. Hello, welcome back. Apologies, that's real life. We've got customers coming in the door. So as I was about to tell you, there's an interesting story about being fit and healthy. And during lockdown, this lovely shop was the home of Stevie's home gym. And he had a circuit all set out, and he would come up, check the shop. He would come up, check the shop every night and do a workout and then come back down the road. And he never missed the gym. And it was a cold-blooded gym. And then as the restrictions got lifted a little, some friends were joining you for the cold-blooded buddies. Yep,
it was good fun, especially when we couldn't get into the gym. Obviously social distancing was permitted and was going on at the same time. We were practicing that, but obviously you can't exactly do social distancing, especially if you're looking for somebody to spot you while you're lifting weights. But hey,
you still can spot the weights hidden in and around this shop, because we haven't done anything with them yet.
Random Easter eggs. There's a weight bench hidden somewhere underneath there. So
there's weights in the toilet.
Yeah, there's plate weights underneath there as well somewhere. So yeah, that's basically what we did. We set the place up as a little gym and kind of kept ourselves ticking over.
Diversify.
All of the takeaways that we were having every single night of the week, living on lockdown money from suppliers. But a couple of people had asked a couple of questions about what is the stresses and strains of running an ice hockey shop. So again, let Pam kind of deal with this one. We'll go back to the segment of Ask Pam.
Main stresses and strains is with any own business. You know, the weekend was an example. Steven's doing something he loves. He's coaching the Mustangs. It's a hobby. It's something out with Cold-Blooded. Yes, it's connected to Cold-Blooded, but it's out with obviously the shop, the stresses and strains from the shop, somewhere he can blow off steam. But if you had a job, you'd stick a couple of days annual leave and you would go away and you would do your thing. Steven doesn't have that luxury. We don't have that luxury. This shop can't run with one person in it. It needs two for security. And we had to close. So now we've lost a weekend sales because we're trying to do something for us personally. So there's lots of compromises along the roads, and yes, I guess we choose to have those compromises. Our children don't. Our children compromise every step of the way. They don't spend any Saturdays with us. They get about 2 Saturdays a year with us. They're constantly told, no, we can't do that, no, we can't go here, no, we've got to go to work, we've got the shop, we've got this. So they constantly compromise, and they didn't ask for it. What else?
The good thing about that is, though, we have got a good support network with your mum,
yes, my
and
mum's
your stepmum and your sisters and my uncle. So we all kind of band together, look after the kids and make sure that they've got stuff to do.
They don't miss out. They get taken to zoos and parks, and they get to go and do all the the things that they would normally do. We just don't do it with them. Not very often anyway. They get some stuff.
So stresses and strains for me is with regards to the summer, how quiet the store gets. Obviously through the winter it's kind of hustle bustle. It's really busy to an extent. This year or the last couple of years, I've found that we have not been as busy as we would have liked to have been. There has been a slight decrease in business due to the economic climate, but usually
a big upturn in repairs. But on the flip side, if people are repairing equipment, they're not buying equipment, so the cash flow and the turnover is lower than what you would expect it if everybody wasn't counting every single penny that they're earning.
So for me, when it comes to summer, it becomes very stressful because we're looking for the next customer through the door, which obviously doesn't really happen very much. Being the fact that we are away from an ice rink, we are kind of located in the centre of Paisley, round the corner from where an ice rink used to be, is one of the things that we obviously struggle with, is obviously our downtime. I say it's downtime, Pam's still busy, I'm still busy, we're still working on the website, but obviously you need cash to be able to keep the business running. You need the cash flow to be able to pay the bills and stuff like that, so that's obviously a stress and strain every summer. Obviously a lot of people don't see that behind the scenes. It is very, very stressful in my opinion. Obviously for me and Pam, we butt heads quite a lot about this. I mean, don't get me wrong, we don't argue a lot, but when it is usually an argument or a disagreement, it comes to the shop. There's not really very many disagreements out with at home.
Not a massive amount of disagreements about the shop, it's the pressure and stress of, you go from, you know, a high for 8 months of the year, 7 months of the year, where you're turning over more than you can handle. I always joke that, I booked myself in for a nervous breakdown after Christmas, but the sad and honest thing is I do. It's exhausting. By the time we get to Christmas Eve, we have literally nothing left. I don't grudge it. I give everything we've got because we've got to take it while it's coming. And then on the flip side, you arrive in the beginning of April and it evaporates, because people's focus then, they've got end of year tournaments, so they're not going to buy anything new for end of year tournaments. They're looking at their summer holidays.
Yep.
They're looking at clocking off, ice is getting lifted, ice rinks are being renovated, as it should be. But for us, instead of it being a relaxing time and it being a time to unwind and look, and just take a deep breath, we then go into panic mode because our cash flow is going to, reduce to 30% of what it was. So we have to plug the gap any which way we can. And unfortunately, since COVID, each off season has got harder and harder and harder instead of better. Everybody thinks COVID has miraculously disappeared. The infection might have miraculously disappeared, but we've still got the hangover, we've still got the headache, and we're going to have it for a considerable period yet. We've already touched on the slowness of the products, but we're also carrying a hell of a lot of COVID debt that we can't do anything about but keep plodding forward with, and I know a lot of people are. COVID is sinking a lot of businesses and it is hard. It's very, very hard. It's
especially very hard as well when you see most of the ice rinks closing through the summer now, again due to COVID. Most of these rinks have then realised that their profit margins are probably higher if they close through the summer, where we would usually have people still skating. We don't have people skating. We have Edinburgh Ice Rink who have lifted their ice and made it into a roller rink. Again, it's still expensive to be able to use that facility, but at the same point then you still have some sort of hockey going on through in Edinburgh. The problem that we have here is there's nowhere in the kind of Renfrewshire area that is a dedicated ice rink. You have Braehead, although Braehead is what they class as an arena. It's not 100% ice the whole year round. We would love to see it ice 100% of the year, but we just can't facilitate that. And the other ice rinks, if you want to skate through the summer, you're going to have to go to Auchenharvie and Stevenson, which is about a 45-minute drive away, or Kilmarnock, which is about a 20-30 minute drive away. So there's really nothing kind of close by. So that's where we kind of shameless advertisement or plea for you guys is if you feel that you need to go and look at another piece of equipment, why not shop local? Give us a chance. It might
take a wee bit longer than buying it online and getting it next day delivery, but you're supporting us and allowing us to feed our children and allowing us to pay our mortgage and allowing us to use our experience and knowledge of the products to help size you and help minimise you buying the wrong product. We've spent a long time understanding the equipment, and yeah, we don't always get it right, but I would say that 99% of the time that I size skates or I size protective, that I get it right.
99% of the time that I fix a pair of skates, it lasts. So it's one
ruining our business.
Apparently my repairs are too good. So that again, going back to a kind of funny story, back in the day when the NHL lockout happened, Drew Miller came to play with the Clan, and one of his 3 or 4 pairs of skates broke, and he was a bit paranoid about not having this pair of skates. So unbeknown to me, the equipment manager brings me down his skates and basically says, Drew needs these skates fixed as much as possible. So I fixed them, glued them all back together, re-riveted them, got them back normal, sent them back to Drew, and the
equipment manager at the time tried to take credit. I'll say it.
Yeah, so, but what we will say about the whole situation is the skate was too well fixed. It was too stiff after I had fixed the skate, so subsequently he decided to go for another pair of skates because I'd done too good a job. It's a good kind of compliment to have, saying that obviously I've fixed NHL players' skates. I mean, you look at the guys that came and played at the Braehead over the years. You had Stefan Meyer, you had Ed McGrain, you had Brendan Brooks. We looked after all of their skates. Yep. We at times had 19-20 pairs of skates in 3 times a week. In the early days, I was doing all of the repairs on the skates, I was doing all of the sharpenings, obviously while they were training up their equipment manager. So I mean, it's
Derek Rail used to come down for his cup of tea and his biscuit.
Tristan Harper used to come down and hang out as well.
Matt Haywood, he liked a cup of tea.
Larry the Biscuit Thief, as we used to call him. But the reason why we used to call him Larry is in the early days when they were getting skates, they were getting them from a shop in Canada, and it was Larry Sports, and basically Matt's skates were Larry Haywood that came through, so we decided to call him Larry Haywood. And then when he was
partial to a wee biscuit.
Yeah, he used to love his biscuits with his Yorkshire tea and stuff like that, so obviously shout out Matt.
Yorkshire boy likes his tea.
Yep. So again, this is just a kind of a total real kind of behind the scenes kind of talk. In the next couple of episodes, we will probably talk over the fire and the impact of what happened with the fire. If you haven't seen or heard about that, we lost just about everything. So there will be a kind of more in-depth talk about what actually happened and our fight with the insurance and what we finally managed to get from a store that was probably packed with over nearly about £80,000-90,000 worth of stock at the time. Stock and equipment and machinery. So again, stay tuned for that one. But anyway, back to Pam. So next question I'll ask is, what do you see people buying the most in our store?
At the moment, the most that's going out at the moment is skates, and it has been all season. And I think that is mainly down to people making protective last longer. They're not buying new as often, especially with kids. They're making it last a lot longer. They're pushing the limits of the sizes, and as a mother, I totally get that and respect that. So. No criticism to anybody. I would do the same, and I do the same to my children. But yeah, probably the most that's going out at the moment is skates.
What is the hardest thing to get a hold of right this very second or over the course of the season?
Idea figure skates.
I would have said rag tape.
Rag tape.
It's really funny. So,
another funny story. So just as we came out of COVID kind of lockdown, there was a national. With the COVID, with the Brexit, there was a problem in producing the glues that go on the leg tape, and there was a mass shortage of leg tape. We tried everything. We even tried a British company who manufactures it in the UK, not for the purpose of hockey, it's for a different purpose. I think it's for medical tape. And we contacted them and asked them if they were able to produce it, and he said that there was a worldwide shortage of the glues and it would be months. So I think the longest time we've went without leg tape has been about 5 months.
Yep.
4 or 5 months. I think B&Q got sold out in electrical tape. But we do struggle with getting stuff in.
So obviously we touched on the fact of the figure skates and how long we've had to wait for that. What is the longest you've seen for a pair of hockey boots that you've been waiting on?
Probably the customs, which is about 12 weeks.
Oh, here we go, customer coming in.
Bye bye.
Right guys, so we are back again with another segment of Ask Pam, and this week's segment is going to be talking about figure skates.
Okay, well, a lot of our parents will ask us what is a good boot to start skating in. So I'm going to talk you through the 3 models that we keep in our store and why we keep them in our store and what they're good for. So if I take you over to the Graph Bolero, this is the model that a lot of figure skate teachers will advise you to start in. It's a good solid boot with comfortable padding if you want to learn to skate, whether you're starting out your lessons. We put a lot of young girls in them. It has the comfort padding here where it rolls over, so you've not got that straight edge stopping, so it's comfortable. And if I point you down to true Swarovski crystals here, everybody likes a bit of bling. Stiffness rating on those ones are 25 over 100, so they are soft. So if you're looking for a comfortable boot that will break in around your foot nice and easily, that's your Graph Bolero. It's a soft skate, so if you're looking to learn to jump, or you're already at that stage, you're jumping, you're spinning, it's probably not the boot for you, it's probably too soft. Now we can briefly touch on the stiffness of the figure skate has to meet the skill level of the skater. If you were a pro skater and you put a Graph Bolero on, you would probably break your ankle. If you were a beginner and you put on a piano, for example, you would probably break your ankle, or you would be in excruciating amount of pain. The stiffness of the boot, the padding of the boot has to match where the skater is in their skill set. So that's why we start a lot in the Graph Bolero. It's not flimsy like you'll find the fashion boots to be, you know, the ones with the furry pom-poms around the top. The Graph Bolero is a figure skate boot. It is not the bottom model that Graph makes, but it's strong enough and stiff enough to learn in, and it's where we would always point you towards. If you're looking for a boot where you want to go for a while once a week or once a month, Graph Bolero is your boot. The next one we're going to point you to is the the Rysport Antares. The Rysport Antares is a model we keep in stock as an in-between model. It's not a beginner model, it's still classified as a beginner boot. It is one of Rysport's beginner boots, but it's stiffer and stronger than the Graph Bolero. It also offers a slightly wider forefoot, so if you've got a slightly wider foot, particularly across the ball area of your feet, it's going to give you a little bit more room. It's still soft enough where you've got that break in, you're going to have it be able to break in around your feet. It has the breathable liner in it as well, so it's comfortable, and it's also got the liner where it was going to break down the bacteria and hopefully stop the boot from smelling so much. The stiffness rating for the Rysport Antares is 35 over 100, so you can see there it's stiffer than the Bolero, so it's a wee bit stronger. We keep it for, politely, some of the older ladies that are looking for a nice strong boot. They don't want a beginner boot, but they need a little bit more width in their skate, and that's exactly what the Rysport Antares does. So we do sell a lot of those boots, and they're Italian, they're full leather, they're a very nice all-round comfortable boot. A lot of skaters will start in a Bolero, they'll get to a certain level, and then they're looking to move up and get a stronger boot. So that next step up from your Rysport Antares would be into the Idea Overture. Now we've touched very briefly on Idea before, and Idea is the brand where everybody wants to buy. Now unfortunately it doesn't fit everybody's feet, because if you've got a wider foot you're not going to fit into an Idea at all. if we show you the width difference between, say for example, a Rise Sport Antares and an Idea Overture, you can see there in the 4th foot area that the Idea is considerably narrower than the Rise Sport equivalent. Now these are all more or less the same sized boots within 5mm, so you can see that Idea is much narrower. It's got the longer arch and the smaller sole, so it's got the kind of lower, thinner sole, which allows a better contact with the ice. It features the Idea heel, which has the honeycomb footbed, which allows the dispersion of your feet on the ice, and it allows a better recovery time for the impact. It does support you to spin your first spins and your first jumps in these boots, so you're getting a much tougher and stiffer boot that you can start to learn to jump and can continue on your learning process. We call it the beginner boot that likes to go pro. So somebody that's looking at the progression, that has done the beginner skill set and they're looking at those jumps, that's where your Overture is a good step for. It's got the microfiber liner inside, so it kind of feels like a leather liner, but it's got a mixture of kind of natural fibres and synthetic fibres, which gives you a nice comfortable feeling against the skin, but it also helps the wear and tear in the boot, so it's not going to hopefully wear through quite as much. It also features the Idea kind of comfort sort of padding bit that helps against the ankle, and doesn't mean that you're getting the rub. So that's why these 3 boots have always been a preference to us, because you've not got that strong leather finish against the back of your ankle where it's going to cut into the back of your ankle. Now we're going to talk about price points. The Graf Bolero is the beginner boot. We start the junior price at £85, the senior's £102. The Rise Sport Antares is £132 for the junior, £165 for the senior, and then the Idea Overture is £189 for the junior and £220 for the senior. So the Graf is mounted on a Graf A4 blade. Rise Sport is mounted on the Idea Balance blade, and the Idea Overture is mounted on the Idea Rotation blade. The Idea Overture is also available boot only if you wanted to match it with a John Wilson Coronation Ace, which we have seen, or you can, in some circumstances, you can put on the Idea Charm blade on it. These are the last, the Idea Overtures are the last of what we would call the models of sets, where they come mounted with a steel already on them. After that, you're moving into the territory of buying your boots and your blades as separate items and then having them mounted together, which we can take you through the process when you're ready for it. All 3 are very, very good boots, and why we keep them in store, but it's imperative that you match your boot to your skill set, and that's where we can help you in store. We can get you sized properly, we can get you into the right boot for the shape of your feet, and we also can talk about the skill level that you're skating at and match you into the right model. So that is the 3 models that we keep in store. I'll post up on our social media pages the bullet points of the tech specs within the boots. I've tried to keep it as simple as possible. I'm not going to bamboozle you with microfiber liners and so on and so forth. All that's all going to be available on our social media. We'll post up some stuff later on today. I've tried to make it as simple and as clear in terms of the progression, in terms of the boots, and I hope that has been good for you guys.
So while Pam's putting the skates away, one of the other things that we have been asked to do is go over some more entry-level equipment, and we will on the next coming episodes start talking about the differences between the entry-level models. We will also talk about the differences between the brands as well, and see what other stuff you guys are interested in knowing about.
Yeah. Obviously it's off season for us, so we are low with our stock and low and protective, but we will be far more entry level reviews and products as we begin our season. in August and September time. So stick with us, like, follow and subscribe to our channel.
Comment below with what you'd like to see.
Yep, comment below as what you'd like to see. So far we've covered entry level hockey boots and entry level figure skates. Next we will have a look at entry level sticks. We will talk you through the different models within the sticks, what they do, how they kick, how they flex, and we'll talk through the ranges and what they do. We might not have all of them in stock, but we can certainly talk through the kick points, what that means for your shot, the curves available and the flexes available, and we'll feature that soon.
So with regards to, we're talking about kick points. If you're wondering why I'm spinning, I'm on one of my seats, so I'll just keep going round to make you feel dizzy. But basically with regards to kick points and stuff like that, there is basically 3 major kick points on the market at the moment. You've got low kick, mid kick and you've got hybrid kick. So we will talk about that more in depth. So guys, if you liked what you've seen on today's video, please like, share and subscribe, even leave a comment down below and we should hopefully get back to you. So keep it cold-blooded and catch you on the next one.